Yeah, I think now since it
All right.
literally blocks compiling, I would say it's better to be wrong as long as it, of course, doesn't mess up debug info. Since we know debug info has to be right for it to actually compile, um, I think it's better to be wrong, but we can get to the compile stage because we don't even know what the actual compiler bugs are because of the spans right now.
Yeah, yeah. What I'll probably do is I'll just do it in the most native way, which is just report errors. And if there's like a well-formed expression or something that's inside a macro, then I'll report it at the macro definition site. But then if it's like partial, like in the errors, then I'll just like default to just reporting it at the use site instead.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Paul said he's going to join in a moment.
Oh, he's on.
Oh, sorry. That's what happens when I have a different tab on. Okay. All right. So let's start with the pull request, the single pull request that's open right now, encode unsigned 1. Luke, I believe that you provided some feedback. The last movement was from the author on November 2nd. Is this in a state for merge? Are there still more changes that the author should make?
I actually totally forgot about it and did not look at it. Like I commented at it when I was on client work, and I just said to test it using Erlang whenever possible. I didn't actually look at it.
Okay.
It's probably good to be merged. I haven't looked at it personally, but I know that he put together tests and tried to adjust the feedback that you gave initially.
Yeah, it looked fairly comprehensive. But if someone could either get back to Mike. Actually, you know what? He's the fun, awesome guy. That's right. Someone get back to Mike sometime this week with either feedback or just get this merged in so it doesn't go stale.
Yeah, I'll look at it on Friday.
Great. All right, so let's go to the issues then, and let's start from the oldest. And the oldest ones appear to be like these kind of like high-level, big idea issues. So I think that most of these don't need to dive into, like the implement WebAssembly backend. Yes, we know that's still a thing. Exposing WASM runtime to Erlang applications. Yes, implement binary matching construction.
That one can be closed.
This can be closed out. Okay.
Yeah,
any comments on it, or just close it?
No, it's been implemented, so we can leave a comment saying it's been implemented. I guess there's things that we need to, improve about it, but what that issue is about is basically addressed.
Implement ets runtime support.
It's still outstanding.
Okay. Fash BIFs.
We might need that when we hit Elixir code because they do a p-hash hack to get around dialyzer warnings. But until we hit it, it's not going to be implemented. And when we do hit it, we'll probably just do a stub to make that hack work.
Okay. Process suspension diffs.
I don't think I've had to implement any of those. I may have checkboxed some of them. Yeah, it hasn't been necessary. You're not supposed to use them because they're kind of dangerous.
So we gonna disregard this one and close it out?
No. They're there because we might need it.
Okay.
I guess, Brian, are you trying to go for we don't have any open issues? Is that your goal? Because some of the
No. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to go back. These are over almost a year and a half old, and so I just want to make sure that they're either. It's more really for the ones that other people have opened, but I figure we have some time. Might as well go through everything. So I don't want to force things closed if they don't need to be closed, but I do want to do a light touch on everything here.
Okay. I think all the BIFs ones are probably they're just tracking issues for the BIFs we have and don't have.
Some of them might have things where the subsections I might have forgot to check them because some of the BIFs I just started implementing to get OTP to build as stubs, but I think I went back and fixed most of those and marked them as stubbed.
Okay, so pretty much all these BIF ones we'll leave as is then,
Yeah.
and waiting on implementation. Okay, provide Elixir front end. This is Paul.
Yeah, that one we kind of have a workaround for, I guess, but
Is this
I
the
think
mix task?
yeah, exactly. Part of it also is, trying to get that compiler integration that we discussed with Jose, and that's really at this stage waiting on us to open a PR or at least an issue describing our proposed solution.
Okay, let's leave it open. I'll just make note that currently blocked on the compiler implementation as discussed with Jose. CPU topology, oh, that's another BIF one. Okay, we'll leave that as is. Okay, trace BIFs, leave that, BIF, 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 BIF. I feel like it's, these all BIFs. Almost, okay, stack trace. I mean, I assume that this falls under the same category as the other BIFs, right? Just
Well, the BIF is, but the
implementation
double underscore stack trace is different. That's the compiler support thing. That's
okay.
That's not a BIF. So like if you click on it, you saw like Git stack trace is technically done.
I mean, that should be supported. I don't know
that's implemented with catch. I mean, underscore stack trace underscore in Elixir is implemented using like the catch syntax in Erlang or the equivalent, like it compiles to that. And we support that, so I think that one should be.
So we can close this out?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, should be able to.
All right. Implement general Erlang term printer.
That's
Paul.
been implemented.
Okay. Separate or relabel heap bin and prop bin prop tests. This is a Luke one. Luke, you're talking. We don't hear you. Yeah, you're muted.
Oh, I never went back and did that, so it still should be open.
Okay. Match context prop tests.
Haven't done that either. I don't know. Are we actually using match context in the generated code now, Paul?
No.
Okay, so we could close that because we literally don't have match context anymore in Lumen.
Okay. No longer.
I'm fairly certain we don't need them at all, but
do we need to remove the type then, you mean?
possibly, and I wouldn't get too aggressive about stripping that out yet, but that's the thought I have in mind.
Okay.
Should we leave open for now?
No, we should close this because we don't need to do it.
Okay.
But we need to remove it as a separate thing, but it shouldn't be a priority. Like obviously getting OTP to compile it should be the priority right now.
Right. I'm just gonna flip the pagination on me. If I go back here. No, okay, good. All right, this is another BIF one. Hans, this is you. Process acquire heap.
Oh, I think, yeah, I opened that. Let me look at it.
Yeah, we never did it. Right now, we just have to be careful how we write the code.
Yeah, I mean, it's I opened it because it's a mismatch between the documentation and the implementation. So I don't know, like, there's two ways.
It was originally a reentrant lock, but that caused some issues. I think the documentation's been updated, but I'd have to double check.
The problem with the reentrant lock is it loses some of the like a sync or send guarantees. So you end up having to put a cell inside the reentrant version or something like that, and so it's a much fatter data structure to make it reentrant.
Yeah, and we in general just don't need it to be reentrant. It's too critical of a lock to be trying to support that. In general, it's an indication more that we have some gross behavior somewhere if we're trying to acquire a lock recursively.
Yeah, so Brian, just change the blob value to master and look at the file, and then we can see if we update
Yeah,
the
I was
docs.
gonna just do that. Oops.
Try
Not
develop.
exist? It's probably a different line now.
If you
would it
just
have been?
search for reentrant, I guess.
Yep. Okay. So,
We didn't update the docs then, so yeah, we still need to remove that doc line.
okay. Who should this be assigned to?
You can assign it to me.
Okay. Where was I? Okay. Free BSD testing.
We're not using Sirius anymore, so that was mostly if we think free BSD is an important enough target, we have to use someone that supplies it, and Sirius does. But the fact that we don't even have Windows right now, like Windows is a bigger priority than FreeBSD.
I guess you
Right.
can assign change the milestone from 2020 to like far future.
Yeah, switch the milestone. That's a good point.
What are we using for CI?
GitHub Actions.
Okay, I'll change this to GitHub Actions then.
Oh, they don't
You can
support
just
they
do
don't support
panel
FreeBSD.
CI.
That was on purpose. Like with the only one we know that supports FreeBSD is Sirius right now, and we got that because Elixir Lang is using Sirius for that reason.
Okay.
I mean, we can probably just spawn an action that runs a CI pass on Cirrus just for FreeBSD.
Yeah.
It's not much of a difference.
Hibernate 3, I assume this falls under the same
Yeah, that's
umbrella of the BIFs.
Yeah, Hibernate we're probably going to end up having to implement because you can hibernate gen servers. So like when we compile gen server, it's going to need at least be stubbed.
Mm-hmm. External processing. Spawning of BIFs.
It's just another
And
bit.
this is kind of the same.
Those are all the
deal.
node ones. So until we do distributed, it's low priority. That's why it's far future.
So what does this one mean? Distribution from browser to host.
That was when we were pushing to build a demo stuff from WASM of like being able to debug. Remember, like we would use distributed Erlang as like the debug feature to talk from the browser to the like host. So like we need WASM compile first before we do it. So put it far future. Like right now, we're not gonna do it in this month.
The next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Plus, depending on whether we get to the point, it really depends if the WASM debugging specs are good, we might not need that. Like if they also make progress at the same rate that the stack switching does for WASM, it might be the case that it is better to debug it as WASM than to debug it as Elixir. You know, like because the debuggers are supposed to have language-specific support in the browsers now. If that proposal keeps progressing.
All right. External term format. Oh, that's another BIF. Okay. BetArg. This is a bug.
I mean, I think that does include stack traces now. Once I added that stack trace support.
Plus, that bug was opened against not the compiler's output. so I don't think it holds anymore. That's a problem.
And that's linked to always include stack traces and all exceptions, which is closed. Pull
Okay.
request. So I don't know.
Sorry, Hans, you broke up. What would you say?
It's linked to an issue that basically is merged or closed.
Yeah.
All right, let's close this out then. No longer. Include location, file line of all stack frame.
Paul did that in the compiled version. So yeah, that's accomplished through the compiler.
All right. Any pure Erlang example? This was opened by Benoit.
So I'm not sure if we
Benoit.
should leave that one open just because like it's useful for people to see. Like it's mostly just documentation. Like his question has been answered though. Like I just keep adding things to point out like where there are examples now.
We probably can move that to our like website now.
So
initial documentation.
I implemented last night discussions on the repo.
Oh right, because
I don't
they
know
just released discussions.
Yeah, I don't know if we can. It'd be nice if I can move this over to discussions. Is there a way to do that?
Is there any functionality for that, like for creating a discussion from an issue?
Not that I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, convert to discussion down there on the
Oh
bottom.
yeah. Okay, let's do that then.
Oh, nice.
Choose a category. General.
Q&A.
Q&A. Q&A. Yeah, you're right. I understand. Convert this issue.
Look at us using new features.
We're high tech now.
It works. Got it.
So fancy.
I didn't know about that discussion thing. That looks nice.
Yeah, it was known about in the background.
Because in beta for a long time.
And like the GitHub Universe was like yesterday or something, and so like they announced it. They made it.
Yeah, night mode too, apparently.
Yeah.
Already switched.
Which one was I on?
You're probably the one above it. External output BIFs with options.
That is a bug. Okay.
Oh yeah, like this is every once in a while. Term to binary and binary to term. Like there's an error. I never, mostly because the CI doesn't output it very well.
So this is still keep
yeah,
open?
it's still open.
Okay.
Do you know even which type is not round tripping?
I think it might be tuples, but I'm not sure.
This one's a discussion. We'll move this to discussion. Ideas.
Yeah.
Am I gonna screw it up by going back before it's done loading? Probably. Great. Did mess it up. Nope. Okay. Okay. liblumen OTP bug. Luke.
Yeah, I think it might just be that the generator it generates integers out of range to generate a PID and something's not checking it. But I haven't had time to look at it.
Okay. Are you best to assign this one to?
Yeah.
All right. Subbinaries are being stored as heap binary.
Yeah, so that is a definite problem with the compiled code.
Okay, so this should be a Paul?
Yeah.
Are they being stored as heap binary or being converted because they are?
So I don't know how you want to describe it, but the problem is they literally lose the fact that they're only like 3 bits wide.
So
that's a problem.
Basically, I see. Probably what's happening, I guess, is the original reference is being used in place of the subbinary that's created.
Yeah, so like there's some code in the GC to like, if you have a subbinary to just turn into a heap binary, but like the problem is that doesn't work when the reason it's a subbinary is because not to be efficient, but because it's literally only like, you know, a fraction of a byte wide or something.
So you're saying that in the GC that conversion fails?
I don't know if that's
tries to
doing it
do it
or it's the
anyways.
compiler doing it. Look at the thing, but like the main problem is that there's tests that like check like does 3-bit wide stuff work, and it doesn't. It just treats it like it's a full byte wide.
Sure, yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah, this binary to float one has bugged me. It's me and Paul have talked about it. It's this weird thing where different parts of the build get different versions of.
Oh, yeah, you can
Rust
assign this to
core
me.
format stuff.
I'm pretty sure this won't be an issue, but that's something I have to look at. So you can send it to me, Brian.
Paul, I'll just assign to you, and you can confirm and close it out if it's no longer a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Lower CPU usage when waiting for timers. So it's like a task, right? Just a optimization, or is this a bug? It's not labeled as bug.
I mean, it's a performance. I don't know if we have a performance label yet. We need a performance label, not for just the runtime, but also for the compiler. There are actually a couple tests that time out trying to compile OTP, and that's when I'm giving them 30 seconds for some of the files.
Do you want a general performance label or two separate ones?
Normally,
I need runtime and compiler.
Normally, I would do like performance and then colon, like compiler. So
why wouldn't you just assign both labels to it, like performance and then also compiler?
Yes, that also that's fine.
That works too.
Okay. Give me a random color. That seems fine. Green. I should probably give it a label. Where'd it go? Performance.
I think it was at the top. No.
Did it not? This is probably a stupid SP.
I think because you went back, it doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Because GitHub's terrible at that. Per4. Now I can't spell. Edit. General. It doesn't need a. Why am I doing that description? We know what performance means. Right. Performance. Okay. Gen server URL fails to compile due to map put and call type global dynamic being unimplemented. Paul, sorry, Luke.
We did global dynamic because I did the attempted thing and then Paul fixed my implementation. Right, Paul? So that's fixed now?
That should be. I can double check. If you send that to me, I can confirm it.
That'll do. I keep losing my place. I'm terrible. Okay, float to list to test fails with exception or seg fault when digits range greater than or equal to 9.
That might be related to the linking to core format still, but I'm not sure. Or does it actually say that? No, that one literally seg faults. Mind you, that was when we got none more often, you know, because that's like how old now. So maybe it's fixed with Paul's changes to the compiled code, but we'd have to retest.
Yeah, there are a handful of these that I think were due to issues with how those types were represented in memory. So
Luke,
this
can I
one
sign this
probably
to
is fixed, but we can.
Yeah, I can retest.
Okay. Any Erlang code using integer to binary fails to link against.
That's that same issue.
This is the same issue?
Yeah, it's similar to the core format one.
All right, I'll just keep you as.
Oh no, Paul was the one
you can assign it to me. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Assign it to Chris. Parent process for spawn link bug.
I think this one's fixed, but I'll confirm it.
All right, I'll move over to Paul. Bad arity must always include the stack trace in the error reason. Show example output.
This I can't recall if this one. If this one is fixed or not. I think the original issue was that before we had support for stack traces in the generated code, we were just not emitting traces. So this might be fixed. We'll need to double check it though.
Well, and you double check for these bugs. This one, the other one, I actually had workarounds in the the code in the built-ins that does the throw and the catch. You have to make sure that it doesn't work just because of the workaround.
The workaround is implemented in the source.
Yeah, the where we have the built-ins that we extern when we do the throws. I forget.
So,
I used to
in
remember
that
the name of it.
case, Luke, do you want this one assigned to you, and you can go back and remove your workaround to see if this is working or not?
Sure.
Not all containers clone elements to heap. Bug.
Yeah, that's a runtime thing.
This is still relevant.
Yeah, I think 556 fixed tuples, but lists and maps don't. I don't think I did that.
Okay. WASM pack tests on Firefox does not work on Mac OS.
We still have that disabled. I haven't re-enabled it since I had to turn it off.
Do you want to retest it, or are you sure that?
Oh no!
I think I re-enabled Firefox in the build.
Okay. Yeah, like I didn't think it was a permanent thing. I thought it was a weird thing where like the Gecko drivers were a version that wasn't compatible with the Firefox on the Mac OS clients. Like it happens every once in a while that they release Gecko with the wrong version or something.
Yeah, I can't remember if I re-enabled Firefox on Mac OS. I think it's only enabled on Linux right now.
Was this also off of like Firefox Nightly that was having this issue?
No,
I think
not,
it was just like Luke said, it's a version of Gecko driver that was used. Like there's just a mismatch.
We don't install Firefox. It's just there on the Mac box, so we don't have control of the version, which is part of the problem. Where every once in a while it's just broke.
Okay. All right, so I'll leave that on.
I mean, we do test Firefox on Linux. It's probably not important for us to test Firefox on both unless it's convenient because it's the same platform.
It's still off on the Mac build. I looked. We only have Chrome and Safari on for Mac.
Yeah, but we build and test Firefox on Linux.
Oh no, I was just confirming. You said you didn't know if you turned it on.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm pretty sure that I was thinking of the Linux build. So, but I guess that's my question is whether or not if there's going to be an issue with stability of the version of Firefox we have access to on Mac OS, if it's worth even trying to make that stable on Mac OS.
It will only matter once Mac Stadium gives us M1 boxes, because then we're going to be using the ARch64 version of Firefox, which would be different than the Linux version. But right now, when they're both Intel, no, it does not matter.
That's true. Although any bugs that happen there would essentially be Firefox bugs, right?
I mean, I imagine most like Firefox, a lot of these big apps are going to take a while to get M1 compile versions anyway. They're probably just going to be satisfied running through Rosetta for the time being.
No. Firefox has an ARch64 version. Yeah. They just use it for mobile. Like they already said that. They did this big announcement where they were using Crane Lift for Firefox, but only on ARch64.
Okay. All right. They'll make a note here that we'll keep this open in anticipation of the M1 build eventually.
Yeah. And while I do agree, Paul, that like it's a bug in Firefox, part of the WASM tests aren't just like, did we get WASM right, but also like, are one of the vendors being a dick and like not supporting us well enough so we can bug them?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm fine with that. I guess the argument I'm trying to make is if we want to support Firefox and we don't want our build to be flaky, then we should try and have a more deterministic environment for Mac OS. Maybe we can get away with, well, using AWS right now is not viable because those machines require 24-hour provisioning, which is probably fucking expensive. But maybe we can come up with some sort of alternative. I don't know. But given that it's going to be unpredictable and it doesn't give us information on like, okay, if the build is passing today, which version of Firefox do we support, right? Like we don't have that sort of, this is the last version that we know it was guaranteed to work on. It's just whatever they give us. And we can dump that information, but it's not quite the same thing as guaranteeing a level of support.
Yeah, it was the same problem with the Windows build. Is I literally could not get with NuGet get Firefox and Gecko installed where they could talk to each other.
I know you can install two versions of Firefox side by side. I wonder if it's possible on the Mac OS boxes to install like a specific other version of Firefox and run it, independently. Essentially ignore the built-in one and fetch and test against, one that's more deterministic.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I guess we can look into that.
Yeah.
Anyways, for now, we don't need to try and take any action on this, but we should probably, decide one way or the other whether or not we're going to try and make it work with the current setup. And if there's a better one, then make this issue about, getting that implemented. And if there's just not a way to make it stable anytime soon, I suggest we just don't even bother trying to test Firefox on macOS until that situation changes.
Okay. Operator number 2 does not dominate this use in multi-clause function.
So this one is, I don't know,
might be fixed now.
Open, but like there's still the general class of does not dominate use in the OTP tests. It is affecting, let me get the numbers.
Yeah, the pass I wrote that that reschedules operations is not being applied yet.
Yeah, it's 11 of the like 280 that I've looked at are affected by the operand does not dominate this use problem. So
yeah, I will make.
Well,
it's
I already 11.
Have that
it's
as
11 of the quarter of the tests because there are like 1,000 errors, about a little bit, and so like I've gone through a quarter of them last Friday.
Yeah, that one for sure is just a matter of getting that pass enabled. The reason I haven't enabled it yet is I was doing other refactoring, and I didn't want to have that kind of transformation happening when I was making other changes, but that probably can be re-enabled.
All right, so this is Lars, not compiling erlang.org hello world.
Hey,
as of September 3.
Yeah, so how is this stuff going? I haven't tried building Lumen in a while, and I actually sort of intend to and try to just make a new blog post like this is where we're at, but
this is last left. Paul, you thought that perhaps this was resolved?
Yeah, the part of the work I did around like resetting up our build was so that I could have a little bit more confidence in how we're producing the release binary. I haven't tried regenerating a new Linux binary to test that.
Yeah, this was on Mac though.
Okay, well, interesting. I guess it might still be the same problem, one way or the other.
I don't have a habit of calling my...
I know for sure there was an issue on Linux with the release binary the first time.
That error that Lars got, not necessarily saying that Erlang display should definitely work, because like I use it all the time, which I think I said. But that ISA error is affecting other stuff. Yeah, it is affecting, well, is that ISA on null? Yeah, So that is on null is affecting 10 of the quarter that I've looked at. So that ISA still happens in the generated code right now.
Yeah.
So where do we want to leave this? Do we want Lars to try to recompile and run this again, or Paul, do you want to?
No, send it to
at
me. I'll
Okay.
take a look at it.
Yeah.
All right.
Have we made a release since the first one?
No.
No.
Would we be in a decent state in some branch to actually cut a release? Or
We probably could. The reason I haven't is I just didn't want to deal with another wave of like, supporting issues when we know that there's a variety of ones that we need to get closed out first.
yeah, that's fair.
But,
All right. Speaking of which, this is now page 1. I know we're coming close to time, but if people can stick in there, I think it'd be worth it just to get through these because these are the ones that other people have opened.
Yeah, I need to head out, but I think you guys have it.
Okay. Thanks, Lars.
Take care.
Compilation fails with segv on Windows. And this was opened
they're
by
using the Linux build though, and
yeah,
we
it's
haven't
Windows
fixed the Linux plug
subsystem
yet,
for Linux.
so-
I'm pretty sure it was just mismatch with Ubuntu on the Windows subsystem for Linux. I don't actually know why that specifically
You
was
mark this
failing
as a
for him.
duplicate?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's the same issue.
Okay. Let me close it out as a duplicate and reference Lars's. You already
Leave
referenced
this.
it, just okay.
I think leave this one open for a little while longer yet, just to make sure that it's. I mean, if it's not assigned to me, you can assign it to me. But I just want to confirm that it's truly a duplicate. I labeled it as such because I think I already did some of that legwork, but I don't remember well enough. I think I was just pretty sure that it was the same underlying problem, so I marked it as a duplicate.
Okay, so for all these, because they've been opened by other people, I'm going to leave some comment to make it seem like that, not to make it seem like, to indicate that we have
Sure,
paid
some
attention to
movement.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's worth making sure we specifically check that it works on Windows subsystem, since Lewis is the guy that makes Gleam, and he's a good ally to have on this.
Oh, that's who. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I recognize his icon now. Segfault compiling Hello World on Linux Mint.
That's related to the Linux
same
build.
issue. Yeah.
Okay. So Paul, just also assign this one to you. Discussed on. Why am I can't see September? Did I say September in the last one?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't remember.
I'll check.
You're probably saying September because all the other dates are September.
Oh yeah. I'll just make sure I did not say September in the last comment. No. Okay. All right. IO errors should include the path that the error occurred on. This is Luke. And Paul thought this might be fixed with Hans's parser.
Yeah, it got better. I don't remember if it's all of them though, but yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's not completely fixed, but it's I think I eliminated the majority with the fix, but there's still some cases left.
Like until I get a new specific one, we should close it, because the new one will be more specific to be more helpful for triage.
You want to close this?
Yeah, close it. We'll reopen it.
Yeah, this one should be completely fixed. I misunderstood the title.
All right. Atom becomes none when passed down through nested functions and not used.
Well, that should be fixed.
I'll fix that one. He specifically did work to fix that one.
You think it's fixed?
I know it's fixed.
Yeah, Paul worked on it.
Okay. Walker fixed. Unable to build from fresh clone. This sounds like similar to the other ones.
I mean, that should be fixed, assuming you have the correct nightly installed.
Okay.
Yeah, that the The last comment, they're using the wrong nightly.
9, stand up.
And just be like, build, should work with
Well, it's not the current
the
nightly. They have to use
2019-05-13
the data
nightly.
nightly.
You can say
Luke, what-
it's the 2019-05-13 nightly.
result, please. Let us. Source spans cannot start and end in different
Still active
files.
issue.
Yep, still active.
Okay.
Hans took care of like the first round, but there's still more to go.
Type mismatch for BB argument.
This is probably still happening in some places, but should be largely fixed. But I would leave that open for now until we've confirmed that it's not happening anywhere.
Yeah, we saw the pseudo value one's still showing up, but I don't also think Paul addressed it. So like we expect it to still be open. I guess the way to talk about it.
Wait, no, I was talking about the other issue, not that one. But
Wait, did I comment to the wrong one?
yep.
I did comment to the wrong one. Which one did I leave it in? All right, hold on. Delete.
Assign the pseudo value one to me, I guess.
Sorry.
Oh, it's already assigned me. Okay.
I mean, the pseudo value could even be an ER thing. I don't know. Are pseudo values when
that one
macros
might be
happen?
fixed now. What's that?
Are pseudo values when macros don't get parsed correctly?
I'm trying to remember what I made that error message for. I don't see that anymore. I guess, is that coming from MLR? Whatever, I'll double check and see, but there's been a significant number of updates to MLIR since that one was open, so I think probably getting a proper error message now.
On the multi-line?
No, on the previous one we were looking at.
On the previous one.
We still get that same error. I'm still seeing it in the OTP builds.
Right, but you're not using the version of MLIR that I'm using now because I haven't published a new release of that stuff yet.
Okay.
I think the one that you're using is probably still the one that happened in early September.
Yeah, it's the last release you pushed is what I updated to do this run.
Yeah. In any case, Brian, like there's nothing that we need to look at here just yet. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, that's happening in Rust. That's where that was. That's definitely going to go away. Parse multi-line. I didn't realize, is this still a problem with the parser?
Yeah, it's the parser EIR. We saw this issue. There are OTP stuff where it doesn't like opening curly brace for certain attributes.
Interesting.
Wait, it doesn't wrap the record fields in a tuple?
Well, it's like, no, like literally the parser right there, it doesn't think that record attribute is allowed when it's on a new line to have an open curly brace as a value of an attribute when that attribute is record.
What the fuck?
I thought I fixed this, but maybe I didn't. It still happens.
I don't know if that specific record one, but I still have errors where opening curly brace is unexpected. I think it might be for removed though, and removed has a weird syntax where the actual value of the attribute is a tuple, and it's not like the second value.
I don't think that should. I'll definitely have a look at this because I seem to remember discovering something really weird and fixing it, but I'll have a look at it.
Guess it could be an issue with the preprocessor.
I think that was it.
It's got to be because I don't think the initial parser would choke on white space at all.
So I don't get the is a U anymore. I just get the is a on null type. So this, of the ones I've reviewed, I should say, it could happen the other 75%. I'm not seeing this right now.
Yeah, you can close this one.
Yeah, I'll reopen if it turns out to really be there.
Okay. Other assertion failed. Succeeded.
Okay.
You can also close this one. This should no longer be an issue.
Given value is not a known block.
Yeah, we still get that one.
That one I think I fixed locally, but I don't think is probably present and developed yet.
That's one
Binary
of the,
generators are still not implemented. That's still true.
that's one of the ones I that is work in progress in my local changes.
Okay. Stand up. Still.
Is that going to work the same way as list comprehensions? Is that going to?
Yeah. So
make
the
a
reason
difference?
why that one takes a bit longer is that I have to totally like revamp the way I deal with binaries, because before I thought I had to I could get away with not like handling arbitrary binary construction with like any types, like any integers or any whatever specifiers. I thought I could get away with just handling some of them that we needed, but because of that, I need to have like I need to be able to compile like arbitrary binary patterns into just a binary in order to. I don't remember the details. It was a month since I worked on it, but I need to build out the binary infrastructure.
Basically, you're doing some compile time binary construction or resolution of expressions used for like sizes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
My support underscore. Looks like expecting this to be an atom.
Yeah, so this is just a thing for Erlang's record support where if you do underscore, it assigns all the fields you didn't mention that value instead of their default. And it's used in OTP.
This is a parser thing, I assume, with Hans?
Yeah.
We probably expect that identifiers have at least 2 characters if there's a leading underscore, but
I think this one is yeah, this was the thing with just I think this one is fixed, but let me double check, just assign it to me.
Okay, well no, it has to be in your changes then, because it's not I don't have it available. It still fails the build.
It might be or in the ones that are not running on Lumen yet.
I mean, we'll be updating the version of EIR now that Hans has gotten the nightly stuff updated. So we'll be able to verify, that we've pulled in all the latest fixes that have happened up until now. So we can retest stuff like this.
As a general thing, I'm going, after this call, I'll create a 2021 milestone and just pretty much move everything over to it. Or I can even just rename the 2020. No, I'll create a new milestone.
No, if you rename it, the ones that we actually close in 2020 would be assigned. Yeah, that's all I did. Is you just bulk find the label for the open ones, and I assigned them the new label. That's what I did last year.
Yeah, I'll do that. Invalid escape sequences.
I thought Hans fixed those.
I can you scroll down to the comments on the bottom?
It should be fixed.
Oh, there's still outstanding ones.
Oh no,
should be fixed. This is a battle.
Yeah,
I assume it's like, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think those are fixed in my local changes too, but assign it to me again. Like there's so many undocumented escape sequences. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of feels like
there's most of them are not valid.
Everything to be escaped, even if it's invalid, and they just don't tell you.
Oh right, yeah, I remember now. They do some really fucked up stuff where if an escape sequence is invalid, they just fall back to like the character value or something. I don't.
Yeah,
I have it fixed.
It's a bad thing.
Yeah, so they basically back themselves into a corner where they can never add a new escape sequence.
Okay. Expected constant to be an atom. Is this similar
we still
to
get
the
those.
one? Okay. type module attribute may be optionally use parentheses.
Yeah, that line specifically still blows up in the
Okay.
OTP test.
I thought the
Okay.
parser dealt with that, but I guess not.
Module is an
Should be the
unrecognized token.
preprocessor.
Yeah, and I guess it's looking for parentheses to know when to like read the body of the attribute.
Oh, that's weird.
So I don't remember if I saw a module, but I know I need to open a new bug because I'm going to do it after I get through the whole list. Is that version right now? Not version, but VSN is not supported. And it needs to be supported because like it's an implicitly defined token, because I think it's supposed to be like the MD5 of the Erlang source if you don't define it or something like that.
Well,
Like the beam computes it for you.
What was the name of it?
It's just VSN.
VSN is the version of the module, and I don't know if we'll break anything if we compute it differently, but I think it's the MD5 of the source code, if I recall correctly.
It is used primarily with hot upgrades to ensure that a version of a module is seen as changed.
Yeah, and like you're supposed to set it explicitly when you depend on it, but we have to, because there's modules where it's not defined, that we have to support some way of calculating it. I don't know if we have the match.
I'm pretty sure in the preprocessor, I was handling that by just setting it to a constant value.
Okay.
Because it does not need to be like dynamically evaluated, because we're not doing hot upgrades. So there's no semantic difference. If somebody's using it for some other purpose, then I guess they can report an issue and we can reevaluate at that point. But as far as I'm concerned, that is not something that we need to deal with right now.
Okay, so
I'll sign this.
what do you suggest? Leave this open?
I haven't
it's
confirmed if module's gone yet because I haven't gone through the list.
I think it still exists in some cases. So
All right. When I still send this back to Luke, then Luke can determine if it's still an issue.
I think you should keep it on me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Support compile no warn deprecated function.
That's still a problem.
I mean, that ties back into a more general issue that Hans and I have talked about, which is that I need the front end to pass attributes to the back end so that we can respect some of those attributes.
Yeah, the infrastructure
use them for our own
passing
purposes.
those down are present in my changes, or I think it's even unmastered, but
Nice.
not any of them are passed down yet. So I'll just have to like add those as attributes to the ER modules or slash functions.
Okay. Is this assigned? Yes, it's sent to Hans.
I think the deprecation warnings happen in the front end anyway, so this is specifically a case where we probably can, it doesn't need to be passed to the back end. Or, I mean, if it is convenient to not pass it back, then you can omit it. Since it's really only used by the front end, like I don't see any reason why I would need to access that in the back end. But if it's easier to just treat them completely opaquely and return them all to the back end, that's fine too. But
I think it's most convenient to just handle the ones we need.
Okay.
So yeah.
Although I'm trying to remember if the deprecation warning happens when a call site is found, then it probably needs to be checked in both the front end and the back end, so that we can warn if we link against the deprecated function.
Yeah, we'll probably have to do that. So I mean, then we have like the inlining stuff, and then the deprecated stuff, and then I'll look it through all the attributes and just pass whatever seems needed.
Yeah, and I want to be able to pass arbitrary attributes to the backend too. So
yeah, there's infrastructure for passing opaque attributes just transparently through, without, or just opaquely through.
Awesome.
So that's there if you need it.
Yeah, that's great. I will definitely take a look at that. Thanks for implementing that.
Or it will be there. I don't know if it's in my local.
If it's not been pushed to master yet, that's fine. I mean, and there's not an immediate use case that I need it for, but not knowing that that's available definitely opens us up to some things that we can start exploring,
Nice.
especially around like, you know, how we're going to indicate certain things about the WASM runtime integration. For example,
Oh,
like
yeah.
aliasing functions so that you can call them their Erlang name in Erlang modules, but you know, they can be referred to by a JavaScript convention name where that's relevant. Or if it's a function like declaration, not a definition, same deal. We know how to generate bindings basically.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's the approach that we're going to necessarily take, but being able to use attributes to that kind of stuff is definitely the easiest way to introduce it, because attributes essentially have no effect on the ability to compile a module with standard Beam. So
Okay. This one looks more like a parser error again.
Yeah.
it's the same thing there. I don't know what is it.
It's just that some of these.
Oh, there's a couple different forms of the deprecator attribute. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, leave this as is. Branch has 0 operands for successor number
I'm
0.
not seeing that error anymore in the current. I quickly searched through the log I haven't gone through yet, and I have no branch has anywhere in there, so I think it's completely fixed.
All right,
Okay.
cool. Let's close that up.
Yeah, like I told Paul, unfortunately, like we have fixed bugs, but not enough that new files have completely compiled. So we're still sitting at like 38 files can only compile, but you know, we're finding new bugs, so that's good.
Binary encode unsigned. This is a BIF one.
That's the
leave
one
it
for
as
the
is.
that is the PR open.
Right. Oh, okay. All right. So this is someone outside.
That's from
our
Thomas
org.
Lively. He's from the
Yeah.
WASM group.
I think this.
Oh, okay.
You can move this to discussions. Convert it
Discussion.
to a discussion.
Yep.
But
It should be a
it's effectively closer now. It's Q&A.
general Q&A. I don't trust this thing until I see it. There we go. All right. Asyncify.
Asyncify. You can also move that to discussions.
Right.
This is just something that came out of the presentation we did
That one's for
on
ideas.
the stack primitives. But
Or Q&A is fine too.
I mean, this discussion is also effectively closed as well. But you know, I think it makes sense to open it up here as a discussion like this.
Paul, are you getting an email that it's been moved over to discussions?
Am I getting emails? I'm
like
sure
if
I am.
I just move this, no, if I move this over to discussion, do you get a notification saying that an issue you were active in has been now made into a discussion? Or am I gonna have to go on here and notify? Because I don't want the person thinking that their issues just disappeared.
I'm certain there's notifications for it. There's literally no way. Although it seems like it keeps the same issue number, so I wonder if it aliases it. If you change discussions in the URL to issues and remove the query string, does it redirect you?
It probably does.
It does.
Yeah, so you're fine.
No. I mean, do you get an email? Like if I just converted it to a discussion.
I know.
You get an email right now?
I can't answer that because I don't know if I'm going to get an email right away for it. I haven't for that one you just converted.
What about the previous discussions?
Yeah, let me see the previous ones. So Paul, do you get one for this Lumen on the changelog? If not, I'll just go through the two discussions and just make note that we moved over to discussion.
This fucking cat. I am not seeing it. Okay. Oh wait, no, hold on a second. I do have. No, never mind. That's a different thing. So yeah, I'm not getting email notifications, as far as I can tell, for those.
Yeah, I'll make a note just so people.
I don't
know this.
I don't think that it's necessary to leave a note that it's been moved to a discussion. I mean, it's certainly not a problem to do so, but from their perspective, they can, like, nothing has changed. Like, it's still there. They can access it the same way. It's not like they're gonna go look for it and it's gone.
It depends on how they try to find it. If they look in the issues, then
I guess if
Yeah,
they
if they look
come
under issues, it's
here,
not going to show it
sure.
here. I think that I just leave a note saying, we moved this
It'd be a
over. to
really
discuss-
awkward way of navigating to those issues.
Yeah.
Do people not? Do you guys use like the dashboard at all? Am I the only one
No.
that uses it?
I
I
use it.
never use it.
Oh, I use the one that shows me like all of my notifications and issues I have open and stuff.
I use
Because it's impossible to find
participating
stuff
and
anywhere.
creating it and stuff a lot.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm thinking of more, unless the like homepage thing. But man, is that useful. Otherwise, I lose track of all the different discussions and issues and stuff. Just too
So
many.
I guess the question then is does discussion still show up in the dashboard? It has to, right?
I assume so. Yeah, it would be weird if they left that out. I guess I could take a look.